You call me a saint, but you know I'm a stranger, all willing and able to do what you want. You think I'm a
Good morning, guys. Smarter options here. Ice King. All right. VIX. So yesterday told you we had a gap to fill on the downside of VIX. We filled that. I haven't gone back and looked completely, but I think we were about all filled up here. I don't think there's any remaining. I don't think there's any old gaps to fill. So let's just take a look here. Big thing we got setting up here is a bullish div, which this is just starting over the last day, right? But we do have a bullish div here. It's pushing down lower with a higher on the oscillator, giving us indication that we should expect some volatility. This is no surprise, right? I mean, we got a short week here. They're manipulating stocks, trying to make sure things expire worthless. As I mentioned yesterday, BlackRock is up like 33% already for the year, which is like one of the largest hedge funds out there. Right. I guess we can't be for sure, but we know it's the hedge funds or the banks. Somebody has those algorithms going that writes the options. BlackRock is obviously probably one of them. I mean, that's the only way they would have a 33% gain for the year. Okay, so I would expect VIX to go up at some point. Now, is it going to be today? No. They might push this lower and then let it pop up on Friday, right? Or maybe Monday. Whatever. We don't know when this is exactly going to go, but we can tell that it's getting it wants to go higher. Well, let's go look at MES and MNQ. Okay, so same here. We're pushing higher on prices, okay, but not really. I mean, just a little bit, but really staying pretty flat here. Okay, so not agreeing. We're getting lower on the histogram. So this is staying pretty flat, and then our histogram is pushing lower. So which is the difference, right? Or the rate of change of the fast MA to the slow MA. So they're getting the fast MA is slowing down on this push up. Like I said, this looks bearish to me, but that's just me. Along with VIX showing that it looks like it's going to push up. That makes sense, though. Here was MNQ. Kind of ironic. We're in this channel pushing upward. Height of the channel, right? We broke out. We exactly hit that point and returned, and now we're back in this channel. And now we're waiting to see what happens. But same thing. We are pushing higher with lower highs. So what this looks like to me is that MNQ wanted to break down, and they pushed it back up and are propping it up. Once again, this is just my take, but I think it feels like market's getting manipulated every week. Things are so choppy. It's a hard market. If you don't have if you don't have the will or the ability to sit and hold through some losses, that's where it's getting hard, right? Because if you're just trying to scalp all day, eventually you're going to go to zero. Can't scalp in this shit. It's crazy. So I've been watching a lot of the hour charts, and that's what I'm looking at and looking for these drops, right? So here we are. We're pushing lower, pushing higher. Looks like we're getting signs that this is going to fail. And I would imagine go back down and retest this low again. Okay. Let's look at some of the stocks that we're in. I put an Apple put yesterday, put that right at close, but same thing. Like I said, they might push the market a little bit higher today, but ultimately I see a drop coming. We're getting lower highs on higher highs. It just, last time, we don't need that much of a drop. I took an August call or a put just because I'm giving myself time, guys. The July 15th are too close now. I mean, that's just a little over a week away. So I'm starting to move my stuff out again for new calls I'm taking. Told you guys yesterday I liked Airbnb for a put, just for a push back down to here. Yesterday at open, that would have been a good time to take it because we were right at the top of that line. We did push down, and if we would have taken that right at open, it was at 95. Would have moved $3. Would have been nice for a scalp on this one, but ultimately, still, I still think this wants to push lower. Now, eventually, this I think will break up after this next push down. Then I could see it breaking back up to retest either this level or this level. But right now, I think it's going to go lower. So this had a bullish div. Dark Knight took a call on this yesterday on Adobe, right? And sure enough, he had which he looks more at institutional buy and support, or buy and sells demand zones, but still, we had a bullish dip. We were pushing higher, lower, and yesterday we had a green day. Okay, now we've reached this top again, and we've got about the same high. I would have, it looks like we're in a consolidation zone here, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this come right back down, and once again, killing everybody's options. AMD, we are still setting up nice here for what appears to be we're still at lower lows, but higher lows. Okay, this is pushing up the whole time. This is pushing down, so I still like this for a long. I just hope it's good by next week, but it's looking all right. Boeing. Once again, guys, look at this. I mean, we are literally, this thing is just pushing flat. Once again, all this line represents is just the average price. I mean, we're all above and below it, right? But here was the start. Here's where it's at. It's not that much lower than here, but I guess if we put it down right there, but yeah, we're continually pushing towards the bottom trend line, but yeah, the price has not moved very much. So still looking for this to fall out, and still looking for this price target to hit on this breakdown. Now this is getting delayed, and it's being propped up, but I still anticipate this to work out. At the very least, hit 128, which would be about halfway through it. But I'd ultimately like to see this hit the final target of 120. That like 122.50 area. Baba took a put on this yesterday. As I mentioned last week, this is one of my trade ideas. Was watching, wanted to see it kind of dip down, come back up, and get another rise, get another lower high towards the zero line here. That's what I waited for. Looking for like kind of a triple top type thing here, for a push back down. So I took that Baba put yesterday. Let's look here. Chewy, I have that put still. It seems to still being propped up, but ultimately we're still seeing the same thing, right? From this high to here, it's pushing up higher, but we're losing momentum. I'd expect this thing to have the longer it holds up, the bigger the fall is going to be. So looking forward to that pulling back down. Took a docu put yesterday, similar to the Airbnb thing I kind of posted. We're right at this top line. Nothing, no divergences here, just lower highs, looking like this is going to play out to push back down. That's why I did a weekly, looking for this just to come back and hit this bottom. So we took that a little bit less time on that one. There's Lotto, FDX. I still think we're going to go back down and fill this gap. We just keep pushing down here, and really the average price is still higher than when it started. Okay. So if we look at this on the 2-hour chart, right there's a bearish div, but even from here to here, which I suppose if we go to the 4-hour chart, yeah, so here we're getting a little bit higher highs, but I mean, right now it's coming down on the 4-hour chart, looking for this thing to break the zero line and come crashing back down to fill that gap. Once again, just hoping it fills by next week. If you guys want to see Google, you can chat about Google real quick. Now, this was just a prediction. This was more just a prediction, but don't know where this pattern's gonna show us yet. But once again, we're pushing to about the same highs, okay, with not much more momentum. Actually, we're losing momentum here. Would expect this to kind of start pushing back down. We're heading into the stock split also. As we saw with Amazon, heading into the stock split wasn't anything fantastic. So we see and then we see. Goldman Sachs. Actually, let's look real quick here. Yeah, just in a downward channel here. So if this doesn't break out, we're going to push lower. We are below the zero line. I don't see anything special here, nothing to warrant anything fantastic, but we do have earnings coming up here in next week, or 11 days, I guess. MES, Microsoft, once again, we look at this, right? We're pushing. We got a little over halfway through the PT on the breakdown, and it's getting propped back up. I think this is just being I think that's exactly what this is, though. I think it's being propped up. I think it's being propped up to hold up the S&P, to hide some of the other things going on in the market, right? But I still expect this to probably play out. We're starting to get the turn here, and last time we felt it here. Here we have less momentum. I'd expect it on the next pullback down to hit the next target. So watching that. NVIDIA, same setup still. We're pushing higher, but really, now this was a good bullish dip. I missed this by a day. Should have averaged down on this on Friday, but ultimately, price is flat right here. Okay, but momentum is coming up. Bears are losing control. Okay, so looking for this to get a nice spike up here at some point. Roku, I don't know if any of you guys are still on that. Once again, looks like it's being propped up. I'd imagine this to come back down. Yeah. Anything you guys want to see? Anything you guys want to go over? Look at SPY real quick. Nothing really telling here, right? I mean, kind of looks like what's going on in play. Yeah, this looks like it's charting out pretty well. Actually, let's look at the 2 hour. On the 2 hour, here was a bullish div. We were pushing up while pushing lower, right? So that's a bullish div. It got a nice, and if you had, here's the nice thing, guys. If you had taken this at, no, I mean, that's over the course of 3 days. So you got to be a little careful here. But once again, if you gave yourself time and you kind of average down as it kept pushing lower every couple of days, average down or whatever, even if you had started, say, right here on this in the middle at 370 and you bought calls for 375, by 10 days later, that was up almost $20, right? Lots of big move there. But you might have had to suffer some losses on the way. It's kind of what I keep showing you guys is that Tesla on the 2 hour, we got this descending wedge. I imagine it pushes lower, but once again, these usually tend to break out up. I doubt this is quite ready yet, but it could be. We just got to watch what happens here at these levels. Walmart, I still have one of my Walmart lottos or runners, whatever. Let's see here, what do we got going? It's kind of a slightly ascending wedge. Yeah, we'll just see what happens here, but this might eventually break down to the low side. Okay, we just got to watch. But I'm going to leave that runner till next week anyway. I already made money on the calls, so going to let that one run. QCOM and Meta. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's go to the hour chart, see what's going on here. Okay, here was a bullish div. I know this doesn't really help you guys, but just so you guys can kind of see what I look at. So there was a bullish div right there. Sure enough, it worked out. This would have been a bearish div, right? So we had lower highs. Hang on, let me just make that red real quick. Okay, so I mean, we were getting higher highs with lower highs. So we pushed down lower. Now we have a higher, let's see here, we have a higher low or lower low with a higher low. So that would be a bullish div. Okay, and now we're getting a lower high with a lower high. The only thing we really have here on the histograms we're seeing is that we are losing momentum on the histogram side, right? So we're actually pushing down lower. I guess we're pushing down lower highs too, though. That's just plays along with what's going on. No divergences here. It just looks like It just looks like this is going to push back lower again. All right, no divs really set up at the moment. We can go to the 2 hour and look at the 2 hour real quick. See if we see anything different. Once again, here's that bullish div. Now here is one thing. I mean, yeah, we're curling underneath that 0 line, so it looks like we're gonna get rejected off support here and push back down. But then we see, let's see if we have any kind of trends forming here. It looks like we might be stuck in this pattern for a little bit longer before we see a breakout. I don't see anything great on QCon right now. Nothing that would encourage me to take a play at the moment. Okay, like I said, I liked this right here. That would have been a good place to take a call, and you would have moved up $15 in a matter of a couple days. Let's go to Meta real quick. Meta, so we're out of resistance right now. Slightly bearish div here. Okay, we're getting similar highs on, similar or lower highs on the histogram, lower highs. Okay, so here was a bullish div on the histogram from here to here. Right, the histogram was pushing up, but we were pushing lower lows. That was showing us that sellers were wearing out, but buyers came in here, and now it looks like buyers are getting tired. Okay, which would be a push back down. So I would expect Meta to go down, but then we see. Right, it depends if this. So like right now, we look at zoom in on this, right? It's, our leader is starting to push down. You can see that it's light green, which indicates that it's fading in strength, right? A curl's about to happen, which would indicate that this resistance is going to hold. But that's if this doesn't continue to push higher. Okay, if the MACD can get some strength and push higher, well, then we're getting a higher high with a higher high, and it's not a divergence anymore. Okay, so then we see. But we do have a divergence as of right now that looks like this is wearing out and going to push lower. Did I explain that well enough for you guys? We can look at the 2 hour also. Let's just look at the 2 hour. Here was a bullish divergence on the 2 hour. All right, this whole time it kept pushing lower while the MACD was raising. And sure enough, we got it went from 155 to 172. So once again, almost a $20 spike next day. Some other stocks real quick here. PayPal, lower high, lower high. That looks bearish. I mean, that was kind of a bearish move right here, but then we had a nice drop. Roblox. Oh, there's a nice bearish div. All right. I wish I would have caught that one yesterday. But there's still plenty of time to take this one. I mean, the strength is just getting started, so probably be looking at a Roblox. Put it open. Write that down. Guys, when you're going through charts, do what I do. I always write down my trade ideas. Like I even have yesterday's all written down. Airbnb put, Baba put, Chewy possibly average down, Docu, do a put but go light, FDX, Google, Goldman Sachs, LRCX call. I didn't do an LRCX call, but I'm still watching it. Just to show you guys what I was looking at there. I mean, like I said, we're in this descending channel. As it gets over here, or when it double bottoms. If it double bottoms, that's when I would probably look for a call. But you know, I did say call as they'd open 377. It'd be up $23 today. So shame on me. Maybe I should have taken a starter position since it was right when it opened. It was at the bottom of the channel. I probably should have taken a starter position, but I didn't. Now I'll wait until it gets over here or gets a double bottom and wants to break out. All right, guys. Have a good day today. Need to have any questions, holler at me. I'll be available.
On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup.